Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Let's Play Overlord. I have indeed decided to go back to the Mellow Hills. I'm going to pick up the one tower object that's left in this area. We could not have gotten it before now because you do have to have blues to get to it. After that, I am going to try the expansion area that is here in the Mellow Hills. I have played through it, so I do know my way around it. I know how to deal with each of the puzzles, but I did play through it with a character that was already pretty much at the end of the game, so I'm not sure how well we're going to be able to deal with the fighting portions of it with this save. And so I have circled around, and over here, that's the entrance to the area where we had to save some of the people from Spree from the Halflings before they would even let us into the town. And when I came into this area, I did come back through here in the previous part and show you this mana pit. But you can actually continue right past it even. There is another little path back here. I didn't worry about doing it earlier in the game because all it does is lead you down here to the water. So I didn't have any way to deal with going into the water, but now that we have blues, we can send them out and let them get that tower object.
An object. I like objects.
We do not have to take it anywhere near as far back as the path that we had to take to get here. There is a shortcut back, but I had not opened it yet, and you do have to open it from this side. You can knock this down right here. And it's going to create a bridge that leads right up to the tower portal and the spawning pits here at the beginning of the Mellow Hills.
Summon more minions.
And that was a minion totem. Probably the best type of totem. I think I've said that before. We are going to take a couple of reds with us, because I do know we're going to need to be able to deal with some fire in the expansion area. We're also going to fill the rest of that out with browns. My most useful group setup, the one I will use most of the time, is primarily browns. They're what I found to be the most effective. And then just a handful of blues with them to be able to raise any ones that die during a fight, so you can keep using the same ones. Make sure to keep them equipped that way.
After all.
We weren't trying to run away from you, honest.
And this area works very different than the regular world. Breaking those plants off on the sides of the hills are the way that you will get life force.
We weren't trying to run away from you, honest.
Those creatures you see are wraiths, spirits of the evil dead. In fact, I think I see a few of them drink each other.
And then most of your equipment will come from your enemies.
To their world. Still, we can't just have evil abysses cropping up anywhere they like and threatening your evil domination. I remember when one appeared in the minion dung pile. Gave Giblet quite a shock. No, can't have that. You must investigate further, sire.
So while in the regular parts of the world, you will use your enemies to get life force and the crates and barrels along the way to get your equipment, it pretty much is reversed completely in this area. And you'll get your life force from the plants that are along the side, and your equipment from your enemies. Although there are still some boxes along the way that will give you equipment also. And at least so far, it does appear that our minions are being able to stand up to the fighting in here. That is good. To the left here, you can go up that hill. There are several different little paths that you can go down up there. They all lead to large collections of those plants and the crates, so you could gain some life force, get some equipment. This is the direction you have to go to actually continue the game, though. And from where I'm not used to using reds very often, I may not always step up close enough to let them get involved in the fights like I really probably should. And the halflings there teach you a pretty valuable lesson. You do have to be careful about how you kill the sheep in this area because they will explode when they die. So while you can still get life force from them, they are at least a little bit of a threat.
Don't go near the pumpkins, I tell you. They're fearless little varmints. I saw them eat a sheep once. A whole one. Hooves and all. I think one of them's chewing my foot.
So here's good old Bob, the guy that back in the real world was worried about his pumpkins attacking him. The only difference is, down here, the pumpkins actually are coming to life and attacking. So, down here he's not just being crazy, they really are one of your enemy types. They tend to not want to follow you very far and move very slowly when they do so they are a little tough to get split up from each other. But at the same time, they don't really move well enough to encircle your people and take advantage of their numbers by swarming you.
They like to start with the toes.
So while they're spread out as much as this group is, they're pretty easy to deal with.
You little brutes, don't you threaten me. Oh, okay.
Some of the other places we'll run into them, though, they will be a little more tightly confined, and we'll be able to take advantage of their numbers, and we'll be a little more of a threat.
Browns.
And here's why we did need the blues before we were going to be able to continue on, is that now we have to go through this water. I'm going to try to lure as many of those pumpkins out and fight them with the browns as I can, though, because the only thing you can take into the water, of course, are the blues, which are not very good fighters, and these pumpkins will really tear them up. While I was able to kill all of those birds that were in the water in the last part, those are really a very, very weak enemy. So do not take that as a sign that the blues are just a little weak. They really are very weak. I was hoping to lure more than one at a time, though. That rate it will take quite some time to go through all of them. As long as I'm doing the majority of the fighting, though, we should be able to clear these out with the blues. And we lost all but 2 of them, but that's okay. I just think we have to have at least one. Because the reason we have to have the blues is just to turn this crank right over here to create a bridge for the rest of my people to get across.